Roles of a coach. An effective role of a friend is that they are comforting and can say certain criticism to the person which normally a coach couldn't say. This is because they have formed that bond between them and they are trusting, so the person will take what the friend says personally. They can pick out certain parts of their performance and criticize them on this. And the friend will always be there to comfort someone when there has been a fatal error. For example, during a netball match and a player misses a free shot, the coach can be comforting as a friend after the error. Yet at times a friend is not a useful role to be a coach. This is because the relationship between the two can be broken through this. Depending on how sensitive someone might be and what the person might say, the relationship can be broken down due to the criticism. The athlete may also not want their friend coaching them, as they won't take it seriously. You normally joke around with your friends but listen to coaches in serious situations. This might not happen due to this bond created between the friend and the coach. A friend could be useful though. This might be when communication between the friends is needed in certain situations to allow high understanding. This could be during a match where friends can communicate to create a play for the teams, whereas the coach might not have the chemistry that the players have. This may be useful for rugby players. They can create moves between the two through this bond and chemistry between them. This will then allow the team to be able to score tries and having a coach act as a friend. However, it also isn't useful in certain situations. This might be a high pressure situation where you don't want your friend telling you what to do and rather the advice from the coach themselves. This might put pressure on the player between them and will distract them from the match/event. However, there are a few things to consider. This could be the age between the coach and the player. The coach must be very careful when dealing with children of a young age. They must be careful how friendly they are within the sport and the relationship between them and the child. Yet, if this is over 18's club, they would be perfectly fine for the coach to have a friendly relationship and a social life within the team. The coach must also consider the context of the sport. If the team is a professional type of team, the coach might want to take a stricter approach and more of a trainer-manager approach to actually train their team rather than forming relationships within the team. Yet if the player was a social type, then the coach can act as a friend towards the players. If the coach is a one-to-one type of coach, then there might be a higher bond as it's only one-to-one, and possibly having daily training. This will be important for the coach to have a strong bond with the athlete, as it will be easier for them to train. Another role which a coach can imply is a trainer. The trainer is responsible for organising and running the process of training their players. They target key important parts of the athlete to work on and to improve their performance. They are a guiding hand for the athlete to improve their performance in certain sports or event. A trainer must be able to understand the physical demands the athlete must meet and technical skills which they must improve on during their event. An effective role of a trainer is that they are able to pick out key parts an athlete can focus on. This can be done because the trainer has the knowledge and has analysed the performer through their event to know which part they must improve on. For example, in a rugby tackle, something might be slightly off and the trainer is able to pick this out and make them focus on this. They will also be useful after recovery from an injury, as they are able to mobilise the injured part and strengthen his backup. The trainer is also able to motivate their athlete to improve their confidence within their event. For example, a footballer might be nervous to do a certain skill within their event, and the trainer will pick out this and try and improve this skill. They might not be very confident yet. With a friendly helping hand, this might be able to bring this up and encourage them. However, where training might not be effective is where someone already has the skills and knowledge of the sport or event themselves, and are not needing to be trained, but are needing to be managed and getting into a big business. This is where a trainer might not be effective. Where training is useful is when someone who is trying to become professional within their sport. The trainer can see the key parts of their technique or skills which need improving and tell the performer how to concentrate and improve these parts. An example of this is someone who is trying to be a professional in tennis, but their forearm stroke might not be perfect. The trainer is able to pick up on this and improve this. Yet a trainer can also not be useful. This might be in the club trainings where more of a role model is needed. The role model will show the skills to perform and how to act within the sport, whereas a trainer is only there to train the athlete's skills. This could be within a football match in a heated argument. A trainer wouldn't have shown how the players should deal with the situations, whereas a role model should show the personality that they should take with them into these types of situations. A coach should consider when taking up the role of a trainer the ability and experience they have as being a trainer. They might not have the knowledge of the certain sport or ability to perform these skills to train the athletes which they are teaching. It might also be good to consider the technology available. Some trainers might use technology during games to analyse which specific part of the athlete's performance needs to be worked on to improve overall. Another role which a coach could take up during an athlete's event is a role model. A role model is someone who others look to for guidance, look for a way that they should act and behave in situations and in general. Role models could be anything from a parent to a distant figure which might provide the individual with someone who they look up to. A coach might take up this role as it shows athletes how to act in situations. For example, in a heated situation, a player might have seen their coach being calm and trying to sort the situation out, therefore will imitate this behaviour and copy this. If the coach was to become heated and overreact in these situations, the player might also copy this behaviour and show us during a heated situation which they get into. An advantage of this is that the coach is able to set an example and promote the attitudes which they want to see during a match and the behaviour. The way they also want others to look also. This might also increase the work ethnicity, as the players might see the coach working hard and see this as a role model who might work hard when they are around. A coach is able to set many examples through being a role model, such as how people act when they are at training and the punctuality which they want for people to turn up. The coach has a responsibility of their players also. This means the coach is able to reinforce the appropriate behaviour they want to see, and when the bad behaviour is displayed, punishment for this. For example, this might be if a player swears and turns up late. This is effective because the players will imitate this behaviour which they see from the coaches. If the coaches display the skills and behaviour which they want at their training, then the players should copy this and try and imitate this behaviour. However, this might not also be ineffective. If the coach is not a role model to the players and is seen fighting or swearing at players or other coaches, the players might copy this behaviour, which is ineffective as that is not what someone wants in an athlete. However, a coach must be careful with the age and which the coach is trying to be a role model towards. If players are young and see the coach smoking after training, for example, this might be a bad example for the kids. However, if the set of people the coach was teaching is older, they will understand the coach's personal choices. The coach will also have to consider his personality towards training. If he is rude and angry towards the athletes when they get something wrong, or just in general, the players might take this up and use his personality towards others when they see someone get something wrong. Overall, in general, a role model is very useful for a player to have as a coach, as they're able to learn how to behave in certain situations. Yet, if the coach doesn't behave in an appropriate way, the players might also imitate this behaviour. The last role a coach might take up is an innovator. This means a new or general way of doing something. If the coach takes up this role, the coach is able to develop new ideas and training techniques for the players and athletes to take part in. As a coach, you need new techniques to enhance performance and generate greater enjoyment in a training session. The characteristics of this is that they introduce new idea methods and bring new ideas to the training grounds. They're effective as it brings in a new technology world into the training with new ideas. They're able to create new sessions so that athletes do not get bored. For example, during training for cricket, they can introduce new ways of learning techniques, new games so they don't get bored of doing the same training events and techniques over and over. However, the innovators are ineffectiveness also. The coach will have to pay for things out of his own cost, such as technology and equipment for their new ideas. There is too much development within the sport and the change of training, so that athletes might not get used to the training. However, the effectiveness of a paid male swimming coach might bring more ideas towards the swimming lessons compared to a coach who volunteers. This is because the money which is the swimming teacher is being paid for. This is because money has an influence on the ability of the innovator. The coach will have to consider the expense of the ideas which they bring to training sessions. They have to be careful with how much they spend towards the ideas. For example, if the coach is thinking about bringing new equipment for water polo, such as new balls for the team, they must consider how much they are actually going to spend on this and whether the team will find it useful or not. They must also consider the time and commitment towards ideas. They have to be careful with how much time they put towards these ideas and not get fully committed to this.